archaeologists pulled a sword from beneath the waves of a lake where it had lain for 1,000 years. Archaeologists have discovered something mysterious beneath the waves of a lake. It would have been buried in Lake Lednica in Poland for about 1,000 years. Archaeologists initially thought it was just another random object, but little did they know its value. But wait, what is it? So, let's dive into the video to know. But before we begin, here is a quick knowledge check for history geeks. Do you know which Polish ruler accepted Christianity near this lake in 966? Comment your answers in the comment section below. Here we begin. Lake Lednica and the history of Poland. Lake Lednica is located in Poland, approximately 23 miles from Pozna. The body of water is nestled within a beautiful protected landscape, safely away from the country's third largest city. However, the lake's tranquil appearance today belies its historical significance in Poland. Lednica is known for its spiritual significance. Every June, young people gather on the lake shores for annual devotional meetings. The religious festivities last 2 days and culminate in a nighttime walk beneath a massive metal fish structure. The piscine structure is a Christian symbol, and the reason it exists at Lednica is due to the lake's role in Poland's adoption of the religion as a nation in the 10th century. This is because Duke Mieszko I is said to have been baptized on a lake island. Mieszko I lived from around 930 to 992. He was a member of Poland's first ruling family, the Piast dynasty. The prince was, in fact, the country's first true monarch. His rule established the Piast royal rule, which lasted until 1370, when King Casimir III the Great died. Poland expanded under Mieszko I. First, it took Galicia from the historical country of Bohemia to the south. Meanwhile, the Poles advanced northward to take Pomerania and gain a Baltic Sea coastline. As a result, by the time Mieszko died, the outline of his state resembled that of post-World War II Poland. Mieszko I's legacy included more than just expanding Poland's borders. The ruler was baptized in 966 or 967 due to his wife's influence. The ceremony is thought to have taken place in Ostroledniki, an island in Lake Lednica that would become an important site in the early history of the Piast dynasty. Mieszko I's baptism appears to have been both a religious and political development. He accepted a version of Christianity influenced directly by Vatican City, rather than the Germanic Holy Roman Empire. He opposed the latter's expansive tendencies and sought Rome's support, subordinating Poland to the papacy in either 990 or 991. The acceptance of Christianity by Mieszko I marked the beginning of Poland's evangelization. Establishing a bishop's seat in Pozna sealed the fate of Ostroledniki. That's because the island on Lake Lednica was now strategically located between Pozna and the state's first capital, Gniezno. As a result, Ostroledniki grew into a significant military and economic center in medieval Poland. In addition to a fortified Slavonic settlement, the island had a church, a chapel, and a royal palace where members of the Piast dynasty are thought to have lived. In any case, Mieszko I and his son Bolesław I, the Brave, are widely assumed to have visited the site. Because of the significance of Ostroledniki and Lake Lednica in Polish history, the island has long piqued the interest of archaeologists. The first studies were carried out in the 1950s. A decade later, the Museum of the First Piast Dynasty was established nearby to preserve historical objects discovered in the area. Today, Ostroledniki and its environs are designated National Historic Monuments in Poland. In September 1994, it was one of the first sites to receive the honor. It is also the home of the Museum of the First Piast Dynasty, making it the country's largest open-air museum. Although Ostroledniki is now a tourist attraction, the island and the lake it sits on are still the sites of important archaeological investigations. As a result, the team from Nicolaus Copernicus University and the museum conducted dives, the results of which were revealed in 2021. The discovery. Archaeologists at the university have been fascinated with the hidden world beneath the waters of Lake Lednica for nearly 40 years. The team has helped uncover various fascinating artifacts from the lake during their decades-long archaeological excavation in the area. There are many medieval weapons and old boats among them. The excavation. Since 1982, archaeologists from Nicolaus Copernicus University and the Museum of the First Piast Dynasty have been conducting research around Lake Lednica. However, the discoveries made in 2021 were said to be the most significant in over a decade. That's because they date back to the 10th century, during Mieszko I's reign. This round of research focused on a section of Lake Lednica near two bridges that connect the shore with Ostrov Ledniki and another island known as Lednicka. These structures were discovered in 2018, with one dating from the 14th century. Meanwhile, the oldest bridge was built in the early 10th century, with the wood cut down in 913 and 914. Because of its age, this oldest bridge may be one of Poland's first Slavic crossings. Moreover, its existence demonstrated the significance of the Ostrov Ledniki settlement during the First Piast. As a result, it appears that the island fort was important during Mieszko I's reign. In any case, the bridges were an impressive discovery in and of themselves. They not only emphasize the significance of Ostrov Ledniki, but they were also several hundred feet long, indicating that they were a feat of engineering at the time they were built. However, searching the area around the structures proved to be equally fruitful in terms of archaeological discoveries. The discovery of the sword. The most significant find, however, was a sword from around the 10th century that was recovered from the lake's bottom. The complete medieval weapon is not thought to have belonged to a common warrior. Instead, experts believe it was once owned by a high-ranking official visiting Ostrov Ledniki. Despite its age, the sword was discovered in remarkably good condition. It still had the remains of a leather sheath and was emblazoned with a cross. This motif was significant because such a decoration would have been rare when the weapon was made. Pidain revealed the findings of his team's recent underwater explorations to the First News. The most spectacular discovery of this research season is the 8th sword discovered in Lednica Lake, the first in 20 years, he said, but also the spearhead and axes, including the encrusted axe, probably one of the more spectacular ones discovered here. Archaeologists discovered 21 objects in total. Along with the sword were 2 axes, one of which appeared Scandinavian and was adorned with silver. The team also examined crossbow bolts and arrowheads from the 13th and 14th centuries, as well as a sickle from the same period. The large number of weapons discovered by archaeologists in the lake indicated that Ostrov Ledniki was a key military location during the First Piast dynasty. In addition, the discoveries point to several clashes on the bridge connecting the island to the mainland. So, once again, the location proved significant in Polish history. Archaeologists used photogrammetry to map the bottom of Lake Lednica during their research. The procedure entails scanning and measuring the lake bed to create a 3D model. This provides experts with a detailed picture of the area and mapped the topography nearly 5 feet below the surface. Discovery of other ruins. The photogrammetry work of the team led to another important study that provided new information on the role and size of the settlement at Ostrov Ledniki. Actually, we are becoming increasingly convinced that the entire area of settlement surrounding Ostrov Ledniki was important not only during the reign of Mieszko I, but also during the reign of his father or grandfather. The possibility that Ostrov Ledniki predates Mieszko I's reign is a significant development. What do you think of these finds? The answer to our question is Poland Mieszko I. Subscribe for more.